up, y'all? It's Alexiana. Welcome back to my channel. Now, tonight's video, what I'm going to be doing, judging by the title of that video, I said what I said. The color purple makes men look bad. There, I said it. Now, if you're not familiar with the movie The Color Purple, insert picture here. It tells a story about a girl. Her name is Celie, and pretty much she deals with a lifetime of abuse, you know, from the man she thought was her father and stuff like that, to an abusive husband, stuff that cares nothing about her, and she eventually frees herself and ends up living a happy life. And I've seen this movie over and over and over and over and over and over and over again throughout my lifetime and stuff like that. And it's a very good movie, but now that I'm an adult watching it through an adult's eyes, I can honestly say that movie makes men look bad. I'm going to explain it. It makes them look like perverts. It makes them look like they depend on a woman to take care of their basic needs. It makes it seem like the only way that they can communicate is through abuse. And yeah, I have to talk about it. Number one, how the movie makes them look like perverts is because of this. Keep in mind, the movie was filmed in 1985, but you know, they pictured it on the screen to make it seem like, you know, the storyline took place around the 1900s and whatnot. And I can honestly tell, back in those days, there were no rules. Come on now, tell me this. Why in the hell are these grown-ass men lusting after these young girls? Like, can you explain that to me? Like, here it is. You guys are old enough to be these girls' fathers or grandfathers, and y'all are lusting after them like they're grown-ass women, when in reality, these women are minors. The fuck? Like, what's wrong with you? And it was said back in the day, like, once a girl started to bleed down there, in other words, once she started her monthly, she pretty much was a woman and she could take care of a family and all the kind of other stuff, when in reality, no, she's just a kid. Just because a girl's maturing into a woman does not mean that she can do what a woman does. She's still a kid. Like, it's a known fact that girls mature faster than boys, but it don't matter if a girl is 8, 9, 10 years old. Just because she starts to bleed down there does not mean that she's old enough to take care of a family and have kids. Like, no, you just don't do that. But yeah, you can clearly tell there were no rules back in the day. And also, and I also left this part out. Also, it makes it seem like the only thing they care about a woman is her looks. And that ties into what I'm about to bring up next. Like, the man that both Celie and Nettie had thought were their father and stuff like that. It's like, you kept the pretty sibling, which is Nettie. You let, like, once Mr. had showed up on the doorstep and was like, hey, I want to marry your Nettie. The man had said no. But he had said no because Nettie's pretty. And then you're going to come outside and Nettie will be like, I tell you what, I'll let you have Celie. Celie is ugly, but she's this, that, and the third. Like, wow. Way to talk down on your daughter, sir. Way to talk down on her. You kept the pretty sibling and pretty much let the decent-looking sibling go off with an abuser. Like, oh my God. Where they do that at? And let alone with Mr. Just because she's not Nettie, just because she's not the good-looking sibling, you treat her like shit. Like, on their ride back home and stuff like that, you're riding on the horse while this girl is trailing behind you, carrying the luggage and stuff like that. And then when Harpo had threw the rock at her and stuff like that, and hit her in the head and stuff like that, as opposed to nursing her wounds, you decide to just run off and chase Harpo with a belt and not care for that girl. Like, oh my God, she was just left to tend to her own wounds. Like, oh my God. I guarantee you if that was Nettie, or better yet, if that was Suge Avery, man, that man would have been all hands on deck trying to care for her. But just because she's not, you pretty much just treated her like trash. And also, like I had said, it also makes it seem like the only way that men can communicate is through abuse, is because as opposed to just communicating and talking to her, man to woman, if you had a problem and stuff like that, you just slapped her all around. You just knock the shit out of her. Like, you don't do that. I mean, I understand you get frustrated and stuff like that, but I understand you get frustrated and stuff like that, but communicate, bruh. Talk. If you got a problem so like that, just talk about it. Don't just be hitting on a woman. Like, you don't have to put your hands on a woman and stuff like that just to get your point across. Like, just talk about it. And also, this also ties into what I had brought up and stuff like that, where the movie makes it seem like they depend on a woman to take care of their basic needs. Because come on now, if you've seen that movie, come on now. How is it that that house was filthy as fuck? Like, it did not make sense. Like, when Celie had first got there at the beginning of the movie, it does not make sense how dirty that house was. Like, there were rats crawling around, food everywhere, so like that, dirty ass dishes, the walls were dirty. Like, sir, you mean to tell me your ass was that lazy, ripping and running and stuff like that, to the point where you did not have time to clean your house? Like, I understand you're a man, but damn, like, come on, bro. I'm a grown ass man and I keep my house clean. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, I know you ain't had nothing but time on your hands, bro. Like, you could have cleaned that house yourself. Like, what the hell? And also, I want to bring this up. I firmly believe that how a person is raised can hinder how they turn out in adulthood. And the reason I say that is because with Mr.'s father, I have reason to believe that Mr.'s father used to abuse his wife, which is Albert's mother, and probably instilled in him, hey, this is how you're supposed to treat a woman, blase squaze, and Mr. grew up and started treating women the same way. Like, no communication, no talking it out, just slap a woman around if you want her to mind. That I have a feeling like that's how Mr. had grew up, and that's pretty much how he was raised to think to treat a woman. And I also want to say this, like, Albert's father's father probably raised him like that, and when Albert's father had got older and stuff like that to have a child and stuff like that, he instilled that in his son, and Albert / Mr. pretty much grew up to treat women like that. Like, he's a result of bad parenting. And that pretty much hindered how he became an adulthood. We can beg to differ about that in the comments, but that's just what I think. And also, like I said, the movie makes it seem like the only thing that men care about is looks, is because, like I had said, just because Celie wasn't Nettie or shook Avery and stuff like that, you treat her like trash. Like, the girl can't help the way she looks. I mean, she treated you right. She cooked food. She cleaned. Like, she was an ideal woman at the end of the day, no matter how she looks. Like, and also, it's just like this too. Like I said, how the movie makes it seem like men depend on women to take care of their basic needs. Like, in the end of the movie, once Celie left, that house went to shit. Like, no food was cooked. The animals were not fed. Like, the house was pretty much falling apart. Like, he's pretty much not doing things. So he's pretty much not used to doing things himself. He's pretty much used to a woman doing it. And since a woman wasn't there, it's like he really didn't know how to take care of himself anymore. So, yeah. That's just about that on that. Like I said, like, everything that I said is 100% just my opinion. And opinion is like an ass. Everyone has one. So, yeah. Do with that what you will. At the end of the day, this movie is a work of fiction. A work of fiction can be interpreted in any way you see fit. So, yeah. Also, I want to touch on this. I want to talk about the 2023 remake of the musical The Color Purple. I have some thoughts about that. I had the due diligence of seeing it and stuff like that. I watched it on a free streaming movie website. And in my honest opinion, the movie was good, but too much singing, not enough acting. Now, keep in mind, it was a remake of the musical, the Broadway musical, The Color Purple. But where's the acting? That's where I feel like they fell flat at. That's the reason why I feel like the movie didn't stay in theaters long, and why the movie went straight to streaming movie websites is because there was not enough acting, there was too much singing. Now, keep in mind, they had some bops in that movie. Like, I hate to be a spoiler for the people that haven't seen the movie, but I remember the song that the girl that had played as Sophia, she performed Hell No. The guy that had played as the adult Harpo and stuff like that, he had performed the song. It was good. Fantasia, who had played Celia, she had some bops. Like, the music was good, but where's the acting? Like, that's where I feel like they fell flat at. Where the hell is the acting? Like, you have musical movies like Carmen the Hip Hopera with Beyonce in it, and also the High School Musical series and stuff like that. Those movies, they have music in them, but the acting was top tier. You focus more on you focus on the music, but you mainly focus on the acting. Versus this movie right here, it just fell flat. And I have some thoughts. Like what I had said, too much singing, not enough acting. And number one on my list is the acting. To me, in my opinion, if you've seen the movie, it's like the acting was rushed, in my opinion. It seemed like it was boop, 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 back to the singing. Boop, 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 back to the singing. Boop, 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 back to the singing. Like, it seemed like it was rushed. It seemed like they hurried up with the acting so they could get back to the singing. And yeah, that's why I feel like the movie had fell flat at. Like I said, like, they paid too much attention to the music and not enough to the acting. Number two, the recreation or lack thereof of memorable moments. And what I mean by that is, it's like they took little memorable moments from the 1985 Color Purple movie and tried to recreate them in the newer version, but they fell flat. Like the scene where, Sophia had stood up to Miss Millie, and when she was like, hey, do you want to come work for me and be my maid? And she said, hell no. It's like they had rushed that scene. Like in the original 1985 version and stuff like that, it's like, they built up to the point and stuff like that. They put a lot of time and effort into it and stuff like that. It's like they built up to that point, and it's like they built up to that point and stuff like that. It was so much time and effort put into the 1985 version of it and stuff like that. There was a lot of time and effort put into the 1985 version of it versus the 2023 version and stuff like that. It's like, it was just like boop, boop, boop. They just, poof, just threw it out there and stuff like that and just rushed it, and then just poof, just went back to the singing. Like, they tried to recreate the moment, but they just fell flat at it. And also the scene and stuff like that where Mr. tried to essay Nettie and stuff like that, and she refused him and stuff. It seemed like they just didn't try to build up to it and stuff like that. They just, just rushed it along, and then poof, you went back to the singing. Like, they tried their best to recreate the memorable moments, but they just fell flat because they just wanted to get back to the singing. That's what I mean. And also, I hate to point this out too, but wasn't Celia illiterate? Like, they didn't even bother to put in the movie Nettie teaching Celia how to read. Like, you remember in the 1985 version how, Nettie had taught Celia how to read and stuff like that? They didn't even do that. It's like in this movie, magically, wow, Celia just knew how to read, when in the 1985 version, she really didn't know how to. Nettie had a teacher, and they didn't bother to put that in the movie. And also, where they had fell flat at too, it's like, in the 1985 version movie, when they was like, me and you must never part, da-da. Like, they didn't put that in the movie either. Like, they fell flat trying to recreate memorable moments just to get back to the singing. Like, that's also why I feel like the movie flopped too. Number 3. Oh my God, I hate that I have to go here, but Fantasia can't act. There, I said it. She can't act. But it's not her fault. What do you expect? You have someone that's been singing the majority of their life. Acting is second nature to them. Keep in mind, if you've seen the movie that she starred in called Life is Not a Fairy Tale, insert picture here, she did good in that movie, obviously, because you know she was pretty much being herself and you don't have to do no acting to act like yourself. She did good in that movie, but when she pretty much had to put on a character, she fell flat. Like, keep in mind, like, keep in mind and stuff like that, she gave it her all, but when she played Celie, it just sounded so fake. Like when she was reciting her lines, it just sounded so fake and staged. Versus Whoopi Goldberg, she actually embodied the character and actually made you believe she was Celie. Like, yeah. But like I said, with Fantasia, it's not her fault. Like, she came from a musical background. Acting is second nature to her. Like, she did her best. That's all. That's just my opinion. So yeah, all in all, that's my opinion on the movie The Color Purple, the 1985 and the 2023 version. Like I said, the movie, the 2023 version is good in my opinion, but too much singing, not enough acting, and plus, let alone, Fantasia can't act. Yeah, that's what I said. And also, before I leave, I just want to say this. There was one moment in the 2023 version that I wish they put in the 1985 version, how Mr. and Celie, they eventually had, you know, came around, had made amends. I wish they would have done that in the 1985 version. Like, I just wish they did that, you know. Like, that would have been so nice to see. So, yeah. And like I said, to piggyback off of the acting and stuff like that, there were some good actors in the movie. But like I had said, the acting to me was rushed just so they could get back to the singing. Like, there were some good actors in the movie, but it's like they really didn't the person who made the movie, they really didn't give them a chance to shine. Like, they just, you know, just rushed the acting just so they could get back to the singing. Like, their acting was good, but it just wasn't all the way there. If you get what I'm saying. Like, they didn't really have a chance to shine like that because, you know, it seemed like they rushed it just to get back to the singing. So, yeah. Like, the lady that played as Sophia, Danielle something, she did good. The guy that had played as Harpo and stuff like that in the 2023 version, he did good. Like I said, there were some good actors and stuff like that in that movie, but it's like they really didn't give them a chance to shine. So yeah, all in all, both the 1985 and 2023 version, those are my opinion on those. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to insert my social media handles over here as well in the description box down below. So feel free to add and follow me on those. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications because if you don't, what's the point? Anyways, everything that I said in this video is 100% just my opinion. And opinion is like an ass, everyone has one. So, peace.